Good morning, everyone. It is November. It's Wednesday. We know this. It's Wednesday, and it's November 10th. And it's going to be an Aquarius moon today, which we're going to talk about. And the news today that we're going to discuss is incredibly light, like really, really light, which I think is important because it's an Aquarius moon. And there are some aspects that are a little bit heavy. So I thought we'd balance things a little bit today with some lighter news, some fun stories. Good morning, Sin. Wonderful to see you. Good morning, Linda. Good morning, Grandma. Thank you for letting me call you Grandma. I do appreciate it. Good morning, Fran. It's so great to see everybody. Thank you so much for joining me today. So, good morning, Laura Lee. Laura Lee Pillsbury. I like that name. Good morning, Chris. So great to see everybody. Thank you all for joining me. So yeah, it's going to be right as rain. The world is going to be okay, right as rain. It's going to be great. We're going to make everything awesome. And it all starts today with our Aquarius moon. You love, I bet you're an amazing grandma. Did I tell you about my grandma? I think she's listening. She's on the other side now, and she was amazing. She's great. So yeah. Oh, good morning, Diane. So yeah, we're gonna have a light day of news today. Because it's an Aquarius moon, and we could use a little bit of a reprieve. And what else is there? Oh yeah, there are some aspects that are a little crazy town today. But it is an Aquarius moon. It is indeed. So we're still under the waxing moon cycle. That's the period of time from the new moon to the full moon. So it's all about drawing new things into your life, allowing new things into your life. You might want to make a list of the things that you want to bring into your life between now and the next 6 months. And you'll start to see manifestations of your new moon goals come the full moon in Taurus, which will be November 19th, Friday, November 19th. So just keep that in your mind. And also remember that an emotion is a manifestation. So, even if you feel better about love, or you feel better about friendship, or you feel better about money, that is a manifestation. So you can look at that on that Friday, November 19th, and actually see that as you having manifested something. Because when you experience something emotionally, like everything that takes place, it takes place in the psyche first. So if you get a new job, you fall madly in love, you inherit $1 million, it happened in the psyche first. Yes, it is a lunar eclipse, and we're going to talk more about that as time goes on. But today is Mercury's day. It's the planet of communication rules today. So there's going to be a lot of communications, a lot of activity. Aquarius moon really lightens things up. We were under the Capricorn moon the past few days, which is typically heavy. The moon does not like being in Capricorn. It's not really at home in Capricorn. It's heavy. Now it's more light and fluffy. Aquarius keywords and phrases include intelligent, weird, rebellious. Good morning, Jamie. Humanitarian, innovative, unpredictable. So do expect the unexpected today. Things might come up out of the blue. Freedom, detached, friendly, and fun. Aquarians can be very fun. Flighty, but they can be fun. But wait, there's more. There's more. We have Mercury conjuncting Mars. And Elizabeth Barrett Browning actually has this placement, or had this placement, because clearly she's no longer alive. A fluffy, I would call it a fluffy moon. Do you guys like Elizabeth Barrett Browning? It's so interesting. So this aspect infuses the mind with your ambitions, desires, and ego. And that's why she says, how do I love thee? Let me count the ways. I want to read it so you guys can tell me what you think. How do I love thee? Let me count the ways. I love thee to the depth and breadth and height my soul can reach when feeling out of sight for the ends of being an ideal grace. I love thee to the level of every day's most quiet need, by sun and candlelight. I love thee freely, as men strive for right. I love thee purely, as they turn from praise. I love thee with the passion put to use in my old griefs, and with my childhood's faith. I love thee with a love I seem to lose with my lost saints. I love thee with the breath, smiles, tears of all my life, and if God choose, I shall but love thee better after death, 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 death. Which is so Scorpio, right? It's very Scorpionic. I shall love thee better after death. This is an amazing poem for you writers and readers. Elizabeth Barrett Browning, by the way, was a Pisces with a romantic Libra moon and a perfectionistic Virgo rising, which makes for one hell of a writer. One hell of a writer. She's very intense, I think. I'm going to read more of her. She gives you shivers. Oh, I'm so glad. Yeah, it's so intense, this poem. But yeah, so essentially, she had this aspect in her chart, and we have this aspect today. So it's fusing our intellect and our mind with our ambitions, our desires, and our egos, and it's energizing us to express our passions, which is really, really cool. So just follow your excitement per usual. With this aspect, though, of the planet of communication being really, really close, conjunct Mars, the planet of action, energy, and drive, there may be a buildup of mental energy. So you might want to focus your thinking. If you're feeling a little bit intense, you might want to do a crossword puzzle. Something like that. Communications might be direct, even aggressive. So let's make sure that we think before we speak today, and with other people, don't take things personally. It's backing up and being sort of detached, and that's what's good about the Aquarius moon under this aspect. There's a certain level of coolness to the Aquarius moon. So yeah, this is one of the aspects today. So you can definitely focus your mind on what you're passionate about, and that's going to be the best way to work this transit. Meanwhile, Mercury will square Saturn, and Salvador Dali actually had this transit in his chart, this aspect in his astrological chart. Salvador Dali was a Taurus, Aries moon, and a Cancerian rising, and the Cancerian rising makes so much sense. Just because there's so much emotion. I mean, this is one of his works. Let me show you so you don't have my face in the way. Yeah, this is one of his works. Just so emotional, which makes sense that he's sort of a moon child. But this aspect today favors mental work we can do on our own. So Mercury, the planet of communication, is making an awkward square with Saturn, which causes restriction, difficulties, like resistance. So this isn't a time in which you want to tell your friend hey, look at this great idea I came up with, because they might boo-hoo it, so to speak. So you want to really put your head down and get your work done on your own. It's just going to be easier. Sometimes it's just so much easier to get your shit done without incorporating other people. Take your time, though, today with important decisions. Again, Mercury is about communication, and with Saturn, it sort of stops things abruptly. So you want to make sure that you're minding the details, and if you need to make a decision today, you might want to trust a trusted professional like a lawyer if you have to sign a contract. Also, with this aspect, take what others say with a pinch of salt and think before speaking. This is the second aspect today that we've discussed that is about thinking before speaking, because we might not be as eloquent as we normally are, and per usual, we cannot unring a bell. Yeah, so keep that in mind with Mercury square to Saturn. But wait, there's more. Another aspect today. Geez Louise. We have Mars's square to Saturn. River Phoenix had this aspect. River Phoenix, who I wasn't really too familiar with. I know that where I live in LA, he died down the road at the Viper Room. River in 1993. River Phoenix was a Virgo sun, Taurus moon and a Scorpio rising, which is just so fascinating. It's very, very earthy, and earthy people are very much in touch with their bodies. And that, I'm not sure exactly what orb the moon is with this rising, but there is an opposition between his Scorpio rising and his Taurus moon, which creates conflict, which could have been problematic for him, why he died, etc. But what's interesting about River is that Virgo sun, Taurus moon, very, very sensual, like feeling things really intensely physically. Virgos are very sensitive physically. That's why when the moon is in Virgo, or the sun is in Virgo, or you are a Virgo or have strong Virgo in your chart, it's very, very important to listen to your body, because the body cannot lie. So if you feel a certain way physically, your body can't lie. You can lie to yourself, or other people can lie to you, and etc. But the body does not lie. But with this aspect, you get the planet of passion, drive, initiative, making an awkward square with Saturn. So Mars wants you to go, 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 and Saturn says no, 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 no. So there's a strong likelihood of meeting resistance today. So don't ask for favors. Don't do it. Don't do it. You want to do whatever it is that you can to not ask for favors or make requests. Just, let people be. Find a constructive outlet for frustration or anger. You want to exercise, walk, do something. What's okay? Onset of depression starting 2 days ago? Yeah, I would call it a Capricorn moon. The moon is not happy in Capricorn. And Capricorn, we had the Capricorn moon. I'll tell you exactly when. Today, of course, is okay. So Sunday night at 8:03 p.m. EDT, the moon entered Capricorn, and it's been in Capricorn since last night. It finally entered Aquarius at 10:02 p.m. last night. So if you were awake or active, you may have noticed that. Yeah, Capricorn moon can be a little bit depressing. As long as you focus on your work, though, I think Capricorn moon can be cool. I actually have grown to enjoy the Capricorn moon because you can get so much done. Jamie says Capricorns get shit done. They certainly do, but there's a lot of drudgery at times. Yeah, no, I feel ya. I feel ya. So yeah, right as rain. That's probably why you were a little bit depressed. But now you got the Aquarius moon, so it's not really depressing. Although you do have a lot of Saturnian aspects today. So, and the traditional ruler of Aquarius is Saturn, right? The contemporary ruler is Uranus, but there are Aquarians that can be very Saturnian. Not stick in the mud necessarily, but more responsible. But yeah, we get 2 Saturn aspects today, so things might be a little bit heavy. But again, it's good for getting shit done, just like when the moon is in Capricorn. Grandma got up early today, drove 60 miles to buy a $1.25 tray. It's 11 a.m. and I'm ready for bed. Maybe you can take a nappy nap, although with these Saturn aspects, it might be hard to relax. But yeah, with Mars is square to Saturn today, find a constructive outlet for your frustration and anger. If you have any, it's a good day to exercise. Focus on what's already on your plate instead of starting new projects. Sharpen your blades and strengthen your defenses. So again, it's sort of good to relax and focus on your own work and not get other people involved if you can. We're going to talk about, oh, you're working hard, Sin? So am I. It's the busiest time of year for me, so I'm sure you're working hard, as I am working hard and other people are working hard. It's good to work hard. Oh, you woke up feeling lightheaded and with a headache. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, Fran. Maybe some extra water would help. I don't know, or some Advil. I don't know. That could be. So let's talk about these fun little stories today. I'm really excited to talk about them because, well, I mean, let's face it, it's more in my lane. I know that sometimes I try to discuss news stories, but I'm not really a news buff, to be honest. So this is a lot better for me, I think. Today's stories that we're going to talk about. So this lady her secret to losing 80 pounds was deleting social media. The best decision she ever made. The best. That's amazing. Yeah, she went from 217 to 136 just by deleting social. Well, I mean, obviously she did other things besides that. But when she reached that weight, she said it was the best decision she ever made to delete social. That's when she started seeing results. Somehow she just got results. I'd struggled to lose even a couple pounds before then, but soon as I ditched social media, I saw the weight dropping off. So what's interesting is I was under the impression that it was because she wasn't no longer being triggered by the news, but really she believes that she was subliminally being affected by her feed, which included endless cakes, ice cream, sugary drinks, and pizzas. I don't think I see any of that when I'm on social. I mean, maybe she's following a lot of foodies. I don't know. But anyway, she saw these endless cakes, ice cream, sugary drinks, and it was constant subliminal messaging telling her to go and have a snack. I love that. Yeah, I love that. I mean, I guess, right? Commercials are for that reason. Well, I'm curious, like when you guys see a commercial and there's like, I don't know, Haagen-Dazs or pizza, do you like, feel the need to like eat that stuff? And, oh, grandma gets penis enlargement ad. I think that they need to spy on you more so they know exactly what it is that you need. Everything in moderation. Yeah. So anyway, she lost all this weight just by deleting social. When she realized how distracting Facebook and Instagram were from my progress, I shut off from it all. She told SWNS that she deactivated her Facebook, Insta, and Twitter accounts so she could focus on losing weight. And now I can't believe how good I feel, she says. I'm fitter, I eat a healthy diet, and feel so much more alive. Instead of her lifestyle changes, this has totally changed my mindset towards food, exercise, and my body. Now I wake up every day and just feel so light and alive. I never realized I felt heavy before, but looking back, I feel like a different person. Deleting my social media was the best decision I ever made. So fascinating. So Chris, hi Chris. I think that does really happen, she says. I mean, back in the day, if you were watching a show and a commercial for some burger or something would come on, someone would say, hey, that sounds good. Let's get one. I like that. Okay. I think that makes sense. A lot of sense. I mean, they do this for a reason. But you know what's so interesting? From what I gather, when they're doing these like food things, it's like, for instance, like it might not be whipped cream, it might be actually Elmer's glue. So it's all, it's all smoke and mirrors. Sin says, I just remember how I feel after I eat those things stop me most of the time. I think that's a good way of going about it as well. I haven't seen a lot of food pushing on social, but my mind food is good. Food is good. It's one of our pleasures, right? I think that we get in trouble when we sort of get into a box and say, I'm only going to get pleasure from having sex, or I'm only going to get pleasure from exercise, or only getting pleasure from food. Like it's all about balance and moderation. Grandma craved a cookie last night because someone was eating one in the show. Okay. All right. A lot of people who smoke or used to smoke, they see somebody smoking and they, I wonder, like, remember that show? What is it called? He was I think he sold drugs in the show, but there was like active like drug using. And I always wondered when I saw that if people got like triggered to do that. Well, even like, recovering alcoholics, like if they see somebody have a drink, do they be sort of like, oh, I got to go to a bar? Just fascinating. But I'd love to know what you guys think. If you could get into the best shape of your life, but that required you to disconnect your social media accounts, would you? I mean, I think there's better reasons to disconnect social. I mean, it connects us all. And I think during COVID, we really, really needed social media. Like, thank God for social media. Thank God for, all of these outlets that we had, because otherwise we would feel, really isolated and really alone and really kill our spouses, most likely. I think that, social has been really, really great. Grandmas and yeah, I'm into. I'd consider it. I think it's tough professionally if if your lifestyle, your job requires it, of course. I was in a cleanse diet while watching The Godfather. I never noticed how often they eat spaghetti in that movie. Yeah. Yeah, spaghetti's so good too. Spaghetti's so good too. Wow. I don't know, but let me know what you guys think. While we're at it, please do me a favor and like and subscribe to my like this video and subscribe to my channel. In other news today, Paul Rudd got named sexiest man alive. I want to know who makes these decisions. Is it like this editor? Is it these girls around the water cooler? Is it Paul Rudd's PR agent? I don't know. Paul Rudd is 52, and obviously this photo has probably been photoshopped, but he looks great, even if it's a photoshopped photo for a 52-year-old. Yep, it's true. It's true. He doesn't age. He doesn't age. He's part vampire. He looks great, but again, could be photoshopped, but I think he looks awesome. But yeah, and Paul Rudd, who is an Aries, is handling this really well. He really is. He is very, very humble. I do have an awareness enough to know that when people hear that I'd be picked for this, they would say, "What?" The actor tells People in this week's cover story, quote, "This is not false humility. There are so many people that should get this before me," unquote. Yeah. Nice way of handling it. I think that's just, he's smart. Who is he? He's cute. 8 years older than me. So Paul Rudd is an actor. And, he usually does comedy stuff, I believe. Let me just see here. I like him. I wouldn't call myself a fan. But he has been in Ant-Man, Clueless. Do you remember Clueless? He played the stepbrother. He also was in This Is 40, The 40-Year-Old Virgin, Anchorman, Romeo and Juliet, back with Leonardo and Claire Danes. Role models, I Love You Man, Avengers. He has quite a lot in his IMDb. And yeah, he's the sexiest man alive. And he's incredibly funny. Maybe that's why he's the sexiest man alive. I don't know. But yeah, when I looked at his chart, because I was so curious to see what was up, let me make it bigger for you guys. Oh, he was on Friends. Was he a regular character though? Maybe he was like reoccurring. Is this the new narrative of sexy being something other than what it's always been? I don't know. I'm guessing that it's just evolving the concept of sexy. He was on Friends. I remember that, but I don't think he was obviously not one of the 5 friends. I think it was 5. But yeah, we have Paul Rudd's chart here. I think it's really fascinating. He has a Cancerian rising. So the moon is the ruler of his chart, right? And his moon is in Sagittarius. And that moon is making a wide orb to Mars. So the moon is, more of a, an instinctual thing. And with Mars being fairly close to it, he has, a rather wanderer instinct. Sagittarius wants to really mount. We make that joke on Nothing Remotely Controversial about mounting the like button. Well, that's what Sagittarius wants to do. Sagittarius wants to mount. They want to be on top of things, on top of the world, on top of the person they're in love with, etc. They want to mount. But look at this beautiful Sagittarius Mars, right, is actually making a wonderful trine to his Venus in Aries. His Venus is retrograde, though, but still, and with his sun. So the sun is conjunct Venus in his chart, which, can make somebody obviously very attractive. But the big news, I think, is that Mars is making a trine to that Venus and that Sun, which is pretty cool. Makes a lot of sense. They want a softer, gentler man to be considered the ideal. Yeah, I mean, I think that like the alpha male archetype, I don't know what they're gonna do. I don't know what they're gonna do. Oh, okay, he was Phoebe's boyfriend. Soft men. Oh, this is a good topic for discussion. Soft men are what's hot now, I guess. I'll take me a farmer with a farmer with a firm butt. Now that could be a really good title for a book. A farmer with a firm butt. Yeah. So anyway, it makes sense that he actually I mean, there's a lot of fire here. But look, there also is Pluto conjuncting Jupiter in Virgo. And a Virgo again, it's interesting. There are some aspects with Virgo. I think it's about their physicality and maybe them being very, very grounded and very in their bodies. And luckily for him, that Virgo, Pluto, and Jupiter, it doesn't make an exact quincunx with his key Aries planets. I mean, you do have Saturn in there actually that does make that quincunx, but doesn't seem to affect him, which is pretty great. Yeah, really, really interesting. So yeah, Aries. Usually Aries, all Aries like think they're gorgeous, right? They're just very, 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 very confident. But I liked his response to that. Or it is a good title for porn. So what is it again? A farmer with a tight butt. E-I-E-O, E-I-E-I-O. Firm. Yes. So I was really curious. I'm like, all right, how do they make these decisions about the sexiest men alive? So I did a little bit of research to see if there was any correlation. So Idris Elba, he is a Virgo sun, Leo moon, Libra rising. So I can see this. I mean, Leo being the instinctual aspect of his chart, Leos like to have fun. Having fun is, sexy. Leos are very fiery. They're very confident. They rule affection. So that makes sense. Virgo sun, really, I think maybe being perfectionistic. That might be beneficial in terms of him having a certain pride in his appearance, having everything buttoned up. But most important, what's interesting is Libra rising. So Libra is the sign of the zodiac that is ruled by the scales. It's the only sign of the zodiac ruled by an inanimate object, the scales. And actually, if you look at what they've done studies, right, in which they determine what is beautiful, and it's about symmetry. So it could be about symmetry of the balance between the top and the lower part of your face, but also the left and right sides. Like if they're symmetrical, you're beautiful. And Libras are ruled by balance, so there's beauty there. But there's a distinction, yes, between beauty and sex appeal. So I guess from what I'm gathering, from what I gathered, there, somebody could be beautiful, but they might not be sexy. In any case, so this is this guy. He is let's see. Oh, he's a fantastic actor. Is he? Okay, that's really good to. That's really good to know. Top of the morning, Zane. That's the worst Irish brogue I've ever done. My mom's gonna kill me if she listens to this because she would want me to do a better brogue if I'm going to do one. But top of the morning to you, Zane. So yeah, Libra rising. I can see that. It makes sense. So then this I don't get. I mean, maybe, I don't know. There's nothing about this guy that I think is remotely attractive. I mean, I know he has a beautiful voice and he's very romantic and he sings these songs, all of me, all of you, what have you. But yeah, I don't get it. I don't get it. He's a double Capricorn, Sagittarius moon. I mean, his face looks like it's Botoxed up. But hey, maybe this is the new thing. Who knows? Capricorn moon, Capricorn rising, Capricorn sun, Capricorn rising. Sagittarius moon. So when the sun sign and the rising sign are the same, oftentimes is what you see, what you get, right? So the rising sign is like the mask, and the sun is really like the truth. So usually what you see is what you get when your sun sign is the same as your rising sign. um that does give you a certain level, I think, of power, because you're not splitting your energy between who you are and how you're presenting yourself. So I guess that could be the case. Sag moon. Yeah, I don't find anything about him attractive. Agreed. I do not see sexy at all in this guy. I mean, especially if you meet his wife, who I think is insufferable. I really, I think, if anything, I think that this guy should get a Purple Heart for being married to, what is her name? You know her name. I don't even want to talk about her. I don't like her. But yeah, I think that he should get a Purple Heart for being married to her. Sort of feminine. Maybe this is the new thing, Sin. Maybe that's the new thing. Who is his wife? Okay, thank you. Okay, I really should know that if I'm gonna trash talk her. Yeah, she's just a lot to deal with. Yeah, but I don't get what about him is sexy at all. He looks Botoxed up. I mean, his balls are in Chrissy Teigen's purse, which I don't think is sexy at all either. But anyway, he's having to deal with her, and as a result, maybe we can call him the sexiest man alive as sort of a consolation prize for having to deal with Chrissy Teigen. I don't know. Also, this guy, Michael B. Jordan, I'm very glad to see an Aquarius here. So he has a really interesting mix of stuff going on here. So he's an Aquarius sun, right? Air, and he has a Cancerian moon. Cancerian moon is really, really strong, right? Because it's water, it's cardinal water, and the moon is ruled by Cancer. And then you get this Virgo rising, which again, I think that Virgos can be very perfectionistic. And maybe he takes a certain amount of pride in his appearance. Maybe that's it. But yeah, there's a nice little balance there. I can see this guy being sexy or interesting. Yeah. So that makes sense. I think what I've noticed though is the water here. When you get water in your chart, that's a certain level of flow. We Aquariuses are pretty awesome. Damn Skippy, we are. I like this guy's energy. So I don't know. You think he's sexy? Is he sexy? And then we have David Beckham. I mean, I'm a huge Michael Owen fan, so I have a sort of an issue with David Beckham, who is a little bit much. But he's still a great footballer. Yeah. So this dude is a triple Earth sign. He's a Taurus sun, Capricorn moon, Taurus rising. I'm sorry, no offense, but this sounds like a freaking nightmare to deal with this person. That's just way too much Earth. I probably would be a little bit more chill if he didn't have a Cap moon. Like that's just a lot. But is he sexy? Is he sexy? That's the question. Tauruses are very much like in their body. And Taurus is ruled by Venus. But Venus's beauty for Taurus is said to be on the inside of them as opposed to the outside. Unlike Libra, who is just pretty and nothing's inside of them. I'm just kidding. But they say that Venus for Libra is about their beauty outside, and that Venus for Taurus is about their beauty inside. They're the most beautiful people in the world on the inside. But I'll tell you, he knows how to market himself, right? Like this guy has made tons of money just by taking his shirt off and selling cologne, underwear, etc. So props to him. He knows how to work those Earth placements. I guess he has to keep his Spice Girl Victoria Beckham happy. But yeah, and he's getting up there too. I don't think he's 50, but let's just see. How old is he? What's David Beckham? Let's see. David Beckham. I think I'm putting money on 45. You heard it here first. Beckham. He is 46. All right. I was close. I was close. I was close. Does everything in my house leak because I'm a Cancer? I attract water. If there is water around, I'm covered in it. Probably. Yeah. I mean, but water is a blessing. So if you ever do have a leak in your house, you just say, "Oh, it's a blessing," or you spill some water. It's a blessing. In regard to Beckham, minus the tats. Interesting. Minus the tats. Okay. So he's sexy minus the tats. My Libra daughter is such a pretty little girl. I bet she is if she's a Libra. And if she's your daughter. Definitely. So then we also have Chris Hemsworth, who I wouldn't mind looking like for a weekend. It'd be one hell of a weekend. Yeah. Chris Hemsworth is we don't have his time of birth. So we do know, though, that he is a Leo sun, which, Leo is, I think, very fun, and they rule affection and pleasure. They know how to have a good time, and I think that could be really, really sexy. And they're very confident. And I think he even has like a very lion-like face. Arr! And Virgo moon. So we have seen a lot of Virgos here in regard to these sexiest men alive. Really interesting. Well, let me know what you think about him. Oh, Grandma will take her some Thor. Yeah. I have to say that, yeah, he is not hard to look at. That's for sure. But oh, that picture is not very sexy. I know out of all the pictures, oh, Christ looks like Chris. Christ. You say Chris, I say Christ. Most of the Leo sons I know have a line like, don't they though? They do. And then we have this guy. I am so excited to hear what you guys have to say about him. I know people who just cannot stand him. They just really do not like Adam Levine. Maybe it's because he comes from like big money. But it's interesting. He's a Pisces sun, Scorpio moon, a lot of water there, and a Leo rising. And that's interesting. I think it's so interesting with the conflict between water and fire. Mom says meh. Yeah. I like some of his songs. But I think he can be a little cringe. Sin finds Adam fun. Huh. Cool, confident, seductive, people says. I don't know. But what's interesting is that he's working this. He's working this conflict between the water and the fire, which is pretty cool. Yeah. So tell me who you think might be the sexiest man alive. And if you think anything is involved in regard to astrology, I would actually love to do like the astrology of sexy. Like it would take like further like in-depth analysis of these different charts, but like what elements, or this is like the famous debate: is it nature or nurture? Nature being astrology, and nurture being like, where was he raised in an environment in which he had sexy role models, stuff like that. I watched him with it. Oh, okay. So I take back anything I said about Adam Levine that's negative, because he's a Pisces, and I do love Pisces. They're the sweetest, most kindest people, I think. Ooh, this is such a good question. Why do some souls choose to be born into idealized, beautiful bodies? Probably, I'm guessing that it pertains to their lessons. Like we do choose, yeah, and I think that's a really good point, that we do choose, I believe, our parents, our socioeconomic background, our bodies, our looks, stuff like that. I think it has to do with like the lessons. So maybe in some respects, you have to maybe determine, who is really your friend, or who loves you for you versus your shallowness. I don't know. That could be the case. Oh, Grandma, thank you. Can we get me on People? I think that would be great. I will give a humble brag much better than Paul Rudd. Definitely. Um, Let me see here. Josh, you talk a lot about how you create your own reality. How can you use the law of attraction? How does it relate to your astrology chart? Good question. So, yeah, essentially, you have your chart, but astrology is made up of symbols, not signs. So, for instance, you might have Mars in the 6th house. So, Mars is like the planet of war and passion and drive and initiative, right? And the 6th house rules your day-to-day life, right? So it's like your health, your work, what you do on a day-to-day basis. So it's a symbol, not a sign. Meaning Mars in the 6th house could mean that you're fighting with your coworkers all the time. Mars in the 6th house could mean that you exercise every day and you pump iron, which is ruled by Mars. Mars in the 6th house could mean that you're joining the military, right? So you notice how there's these different variables. It's going to be up to you to determine, okay, how am I going to use this Mars in the 6th house? Am I going to exercise every day? Am I going to bicker with people every day? Am I going to get into arguments every day? Am I going to weight train every day? Am I going to exercise every day? Am I going to kick ass in my job every day? So you get to choose your own reality by how you use that symbol. So astrology is about symbols, not signs. You never want to hear, oh, Mars in the 10th house, you're going to be super ambitious. Yeah, that is one thing, but there's many. So it's symbols, not signs. I hope that answers your question. Sexy, for me anyway, takes into account the character of the person. I like that a lot. So let me talk to you about what's going on tomorrow. This should actually be cool because you'll get a heads up on what is the dealio for tomorrow, because tomorrow's a pretty interesting day, actually. So let me show you what is up. So yeah, tomorrow, November 11th, which is pretty cool. We have tomorrow, let me see. Oh, hold on. Okay, so yeah, tomorrow we have the first quarter moon, which we're going to talk more about. But it really is about getting things together for your new moon goals. So it's Jupiter's day tomorrow, November 11th. So it's all about expansion and growth and going big. And it will be an Aquarius moon again. So you will be flying high tomorrow, more so than today because we don't have such heavy aspects. The Aquarius moon for today, as well as for tomorrow, is good for dreaming up ideals, social pursuits, creative projects, hanging with friends, doing something unusual. Go out on a limb and have fun. But the most important thing is really that it's the first quarter moon. So this is the time to relay your foundations, your paradigms and beliefs to allow your intentions to manifest on a subject. So before you, it is Veterans Day. Thank you, Sin. Yeah, it is Veterans Day. I hope you all have the day off. Unlikely, but you never know. So essentially, it's about laying down new pipes, like a new template in terms of your life. So say you want a new job, right? But you have beliefs that are in place that like, oh, I'm so old and I don't know computers and I'm not really good at connecting with people, blah, blah, blah. Like all of that is sort of like a grid. It's like your belief system. And what you're going to attract when you go on your job hunt is stuff like that. People reflecting back to your beliefs. So when we say that you want to relay foundations, what we're talking about is relaying beliefs. So whatever it is that you want, it first starts with the belief that you can have it. So do whatever it is that you can to relay new pipes, new beliefs on different subjects. So we all have like these grids or these belief systems about different areas of our lives. You can look at your astrology chart. Actually, it's the easiest thing to do is to look at your chart and say, okay, first house, what do I believe about my identity? Or second house, what do I believe about money? Third house, what do I believe about my communication skills, etc. And then you can start practicing new beliefs. Because if you want something, the smartest thing, most economical thing to do, I think, is to look at somebody who already has what you want and be like, okay, what does this person believe about themselves? And then you adopt those beliefs, and presto, you get what you want. Also, with this first quarter moon, it's a building time. It's a time for making a loose, and I say loose because, life happens. You might need to adjust the plan, but for the time being, make a loose, inspired action plan to enhance manifestations. Having a plan that changes is probably better than having no plan at all. And of course, taking action toward your goals will add energy to actualizing them. So start taking action tomorrow, if you haven't already. And, there we have it, folks. That's your Thursday forecast. So you're all set for tomorrow. Additionally, I thank you guys for joining me today in the live chat and watching this afterwards. Please be sure to like this video and subscribe to my channel. I got to run too, Grandma. Bye, Grandma. Bye, Grandma. Have a great day. Bye. Also, if you're looking for a psychic astrology reading, we will read your tarot cards. We'll run your astrological chart, show you how you can make the most of your life. Just check out my website, psychicsun.com, and we'll hook you up with a reading. And finally, I have tarot classes starting. Tarot, learn tarot. Just, I have a link in the description below. If you are interested in joining my tarot class, which is starting on Monday, this Monday, and it's going to be for 5 weeks. It's going to be awesome. So check out the link below if you're interested in learning tarot. Tarot can not only help you understand your world, but it can give you a key to creating a new world for yourself as well. You can use tarot for manifestation because it's all about archetypes that are embedded in collective consciousness. Carl Jung actually worked with tarot, and we'll be talking about that in the class. So have a wonderful day, guys. I will see you soon, and thanks again for spending time with me this morning. Bye-bye.